Hello everyone and welcome to 4-Minute Robotics. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a robotic smart car capable of following a black line on its own. Now you may be wondering what's the importance of building something like this. Well, unless you've been living under a rock for the past decade, you've probably noticed that more and more car manufacturers are investing in self-driving vehicles. And that's because self-driving vehicles are more fuel efficient, better drivers than us, and offer an extra set of hands to help us transport things from point A to point B in this ever-growing multitasking society that we live in today. After coming home from a long day of work, your mom probably won't feel like taking you to soccer practice or cheerleader practice. But if you have a self-driving vehicle in your backyard, that solves that issue. To add to that, more and more factory warehouses are using self-driving vehicles to transport materials back and forth across long distances in the warehouse. There is a growing demand of technologically savvy people capable of building self-driving vehicles like these. You ready to build yours? Let's get started. Here's a list of all the parts you'll need for this project. You'll need a screwdriver, 8 M3 screws, 4 plastic female M3 spacers, some velcro, 4 line sensors, 18 male-female jumper wires, and 10 male-male jumper wires. And as far as the items sitting on top of the chassis, you'll need an arduino, a mini breadboard, an L298 motor controller, and a battery pack. So this is what it looks like before, and this is what it's gonna look like after everything is all hooked up. I know it looks like a lot, but trust me, we're gonna break this project down into simple, easy steps. Step 1, secure all the items to the top of the chassis. Let's start with the Arduino. Go ahead and put some Velcro on the back of it. And then put the other end of that Velcro right here at the front of the chassis, making sure to put it out of the way of that big hole you see there. It's through that big hole that we're going to feed the wires coming from the line sensors in the front. Once you got your Velcro on, you can go ahead and put your Arduino on. Just make sure it's out of the way of that hole. Next, we need to put the motor controller on. So go ahead and Velcro that up. And when you place the motor controller on the chassis, you want to make sure that the heatsink of the motor controller, which is this big black thing, is next to the Arduino. Place it as close to the Arduino as you can. Next, we need to place the mini breadboard on the chassis. Make sure when you put it on the chassis, it's oriented the same way you see here on the video. And also, put it as far from the motor controller as you can so that we can still feed wires through the side of the motor controller. And lastly, we need to put the battery pack on the chassis. When you put the battery pack on the chassis, make sure you put it far enough in front of the motor controller so that you can still feed wires through the front of the motor controller. And that's pretty much how everything is going to be placed on the chassis. The reason we're using Velcro is so that if you want to change the location of any of these items, it's as simple as picking it up and moving it. And that completes phase 1 of this building project, which is placing all the items sitting on top of the chassis where they need to be. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to bring those wires connected to the motors up to the top of the chassis and connect them to the motor controller. If you found this video entertaining or feel that it made learning robotics slightly easier, do me a favor and hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.